Hey y'all, this is Officer Karen Lawdawg reporting live to you for quality training and transparency purposes. I have a re-examination appointment at 11:15 a.m. with Samuel Jimenez. I have login instructions via Microsoft Teams remote conference. And I have my meeting ID already logged in, my meeting passcode already logged in. And as you can see, folks, right here, I'm waiting. Let me turn my camera on. There's my camera. You know why I have to do this, folks? Because I don't trust the Department of Motor Vehicles. I don't trust Bakersfield Police Department. I mean, not all of them, but so far, most that I've run into have proven that they can't be trusted. So at 11:15 a.m., somebody should pop on right here. Samuel Jimenez should be popping in right here to conduct my re-examination appointment. And the letter says that at the time and date set for the hearing, I'm responsible for joining the team's meeting. The use of cellular or pay phones is not recommended for telephone contacts. Folks, I don't know too many people that still have a landline, but it says that there's an order of suspension for non-compliance. So it says that if I fail to keep this scheduled appointment, my driving privileges will be or remain suspended effective May 30th, 2024. So I just want everybody to see, for quality training and transparency purposes, that I'm waiting for my meeting to commence. It's 11:14 a.m. I'm joined, but I don't see Samuel Jimenez. And I trust that he's going to show up here in a minute, and you're all going to enjoy how retaliation, collusion, coercion, bullying, and harassment against law-abiding citizens work in Killeen County, Kern. When the meeting starts, we'll let people know you're waiting. It's 11:15, folks. Where is Samuel Jimenez? Come out, wherever you are. I'm gravely concerned about the location of Samuel Jimenez. Folks, Officer Karen Lawdawg received a notification from the Department of Motor Vehicles, thanks to Heckle and Jekyll, turning me into DMV and falsely alleging that the Lawdawg is not qualified to be behind the wheel of a vehicle. They're forcing me to have to ride my horse every day, everywhere. It's 11:15 a.m., folks. And you can bet your booty they're going to suspend Officer Karen Lawdawg's license, saying that she didn't participate, when right here, I'm going to turn this camera around so y'all can see. Right there. Meeting. Join. And the Lawdawg is waiting for the Department of Motor Vehicles to join this meeting. The Department of Motor Vehicles instructed me on 5/29 at 11:15 a.m. to log on via Microsoft Teams remote conference with meeting ID 294348893547 using meeting passcode capital W lowercase y, lowercase t, uppercase Q, uppercase F, uppercase Q, to meet with hearing officer Samuel Jimenez with the Department of Motor Vehicles regarding an order for re-examination of my driving privileges because two officers with the Bakersfield Police Department turned me in to the Department of Motor Vehicles saying that there's a medical or physical reason why I shouldn't be driving. So I just wanted for there to be proof that I am in compliance. I am logged in. I've been logged in. But yet Samuel Jimenez is nowhere to be found. See that, folks? It says when the meeting starts, we'll let people know you're waiting. And here I am, I'm waiting. It says that if I fail to keep the above scheduled appointment, my driving privileges will be suspended effective May 30th, 2024. And it states that it'll remain suspended until I contact the department and complete the re-examination process. But here I am right now waiting. And this was certified under penalty of perjury. You know what's funny, folks? This Mosby guy on May 8th is the signature of the DMV employee that sent me this. Funny thing is, they didn't even send it certified return or receipt. That's how sneaky they are. Now, we've already seen... Uh-oh. Oh, here he is.
Hello.
Oh, good thing I stuck around. Good thing I stuck around. I wasn't too sure you were going to show up.
Yeah, I was. I saw you right at 11:15, except I'm here at home, so I was had to make sure I got in the quiet room before I answered you.
No.
I apologize for the delay. But yeah, I am hearing Officer Jimenez with the DMV. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, sir. I'm on a recorded line. I'm in a garage that's also under surveillance for quality training and transparency purposes, and I feel that I need to do that given that we're even having this conversation right now.
Not a problem. Yes, and please be advised that our conversation will be recorded in order for the department to provide a future record upon request. So like I was saying earlier, I am here in Officer Jimenez with the DMV. If I can just have you identify yourself for the record with your full name, date of birth, and address, please.
Lori Ann Wiley, W-I-L-E-Y. Date of birth, 4/9/1969. Address, 10809 Paul Avenue, Bakersfield, California, 93312, which is also public record.
Thank you, Ms. Wiley. Just give me one moment. Let me just read through the file real quickly, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Shall I turn off my camera since you have yours turned off?
It's completely up to you. Our Microsoft Teams meeting has a recorder that turns on as soon as I open up the meeting. So if you wish to turn it off, you may turn yours off. That's not a problem.
No, I just wanted to keep things fair since I can't see you.
Yeah, I don't like to turn on the camera. It just creates extra bandwidth issues and then issues with uploading the file. It takes a lot longer. Unless it was absolutely necessary, definitely I would turn on the camera, but I don't see that being an issue for our case.
No worries.
Wiley. So this, oops. Okay, hold on. So this is a re-examination being convened on Wednesday, May 29th of 2024 before the Department of Motor Vehicles. And the re-examination is to see if there is a reason on suspending the license of a Lori and Wiley with the California license number B as in Bravo 3554334.
Did you get my 2 letters that I sent? One back in December of 2023 when I first learned that these officers defamed me and wasted taxpayer money, and notifying you that there's some sort of physical or mental limitation that makes them think that you should re-examine me. I mean, you do realize that you're being used by a law enforcement agency in Bakersfield to retaliate against a law-abiding citizen. I want you to know that for the record. This incident stems from being pulled over because these law enforcement officers will never drive what I was driving that day. And they pulled me over, said that I didn't have a front license plate. Record, picture, and video evidence will show that I had already taken care of all paperwork with the Department of Motor Vehicles to order replacement plates. And besides, you can't pull somebody over for a no front license plate allegation alone. That's a violation of one's Fourth Amendment constitutional right. And thereafter, they falsely accused me of trying to race and some other false allegation. And what's funny is that I was in a turning lane at a red light. They were also in the far right lane at the red light, turning right to go back to the police department. They looked over.
Miss Wiley, can I stop you real quick?
Oh, okay, because time is of the essence. I'm just wondering how you're going to determine any physical limitations that you think I might have over a TV monitor or a computer monitor.
All I do is ask questions.
Oh, okay.
We'll go from there.
Okay.
But yeah, I do want to hear your side of the story. However, I'm just not there yet.
Oh, okay.
Let me do a few things first, and then I want to hear what you have to say. First, I want to just go ahead and administer the oath before I have you, because you're saying a lot of important information, but it's also not as useful to me unless I have you under oath. So let me do that first. So, Ms. Wiley, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the statements or testimony that you're going to present here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
So help me God. Do I need a lawyer?
You do not need one. However, you may have one if you'd like. That is completely up to you.
No, this is too much fun. Why would I need to expend money to hire a lawyer to answer false and defamatory allegations from 2 law enforcement officers that didn't even submit that ticket to the Superior Court where I would have my day in court, bypassed that whole process because they knew that they would lose in court, and now they're going this avenue. Why would I spend my money? I'm a single mom. I'm a single mom on a fixed medical disability retirement income. I'm not going to let BPD muscle me and bully me into wasting my good dollars on their frivolous charges. But we're going to see how this is all going to unfold, Mr. Jimenez.
Very well. And And so now that I have you sworn in, Ms. Wiley, I'll go ahead and read you our issue. So our issue is to determine if the respondent, Ms. Wiley, is a negligent operator of a motor vehicle due to one particular incident dated December 5th of 2022. And so that is our issue. That is what we're here to determine here today.
Do you realize how asinine this whole process is unfolding? I mean, we're going to talk about December 5th, where 2 law enforcement officers cited me for 3 violations, none of which they ever submitted to the Bakersfield Traffic Division for proper adjudication, where the district attorney would be required to write a probable cause statement, where I would be entitled to discovery, where I would be entitled to cross-examine these individuals, where I would be entitled to present evidence. They didn't do any of that. They knew that I objected and filed a complaint against the 2 officers involved with the department, and they skipped that whole process, and now they're using you to do their bidding. This is great.
And I do have one document that I do want to just introduce just for identification purposes. Actually, I have 2 documents that I want to introduce for identification purposes. The very first one that I have is your driving record history, Ms. Wiley. Your driving record history, I have it marked for identification as exhibit number 1.
How am I going to see that exhibit if you have your camera turned off, Mr. Jimenez? You're going to enter something into evidence when I haven't had an opportunity to look at that evidence. How does that work?
I'm not going to enter into evidence, Ms. Wiley. I'm simply introducing it as exhibit number 1, and I'm just identifying the document. However, I'm not entering it into evidence because this is just a re-examination. And if you wish to see what I'm seeing, I can share my screen with you.
Oh, excellent. I'd love for you to share your screen.
Okay. Give me one moment.
Because I know what my driving record's going to show. It's going to show that I don't have any at-fault accidents. I don't have any violations.
I have your driving record up as we speak. Can you see it?
I can. I'm wearing my corrective lenses as we speak.
Very well. So this is your driving record history, and I'm just marking this for identification purposes only as exhibit number 1. And so your driving record history is dated today, May 29th of 2024. It has the license number B as in 4355. And it just simply has really on your driving record history, there is nothing, as I go through it, nothing that's really related to today's reexamination or related to that one incident of December 22, 2022 that's on here. This is just your driving record history that we introduced for procedural purposes. And so, I'm just going to be marking your driving record history as exhibit number 1, that's all.
No worries, Mr. Jimenez. I'm not trying to be difficult with you. I just think it's sad that you're being used by a law enforcement agency to do their retaliatory bidding. But that's all right. The Department of Justice has been informed. The FBI has been informed. The County Grand Jury's been informed. There's actually a open investigation relative to my second complaint against these 2 officers and the sergeant that authorized this to get this far. So no worries. Those who know. So next we're going to move on to any medical history, which there's none, sir. I can assure you I have 0 medical history of any impairment that would make me a danger to driving any motorized vehicle, including, you saw my endorsement on my M1, right? You saw I just added an endorsement to my license?
Oh, you're right. There is a M1 on your Class C non-commercial.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I guess I guess the training facility that I went through felt that I was qualified to be behind 2 wheels. I certainly think I'd be qualified to be behind 4, but okay, let's continue this dog and pony show.
Yeah, I do have one more document that I wanted to introduce, Ms. Wiley. This document is the request for the re-examination that was submitted by Bakersfield PD. We also call it a DS-427.
Yes.
So the DS-427 indicates on here that on December 5th of 2022, they indicated that they observed unsafe or inappropriate lane change, drifting or weaving in and out of lanes, and that you were revving your engine. And they also indicated on here that you were uncooperative and confrontational.
You know what's beautiful about this, sir? If you have a copy of the letter that I sent in December, and then the one that I sent to your offices, not only in Sacramento, but also over there on District Boulevard here in Bakersfield about 2 weeks ago. Not to mention the live that I did at DMV over at Chirac Court, where your own DMV personnel said that he didn't feel that I was a danger to be behind the wheel. But at any rate, I've adequately answered all of those questions. There's a live video that was taken on December 5th. There's no evidence whatsoever that I was not cooperative. And as far as revving the engine, sir, I drive a 2019 Grand Sport convertible. Hold on. Potential spam. Hold on, because you're going to love this. You're going to love this. I'm not sure, I have all the record, picture, and video evidence. I'm not sure how these 2 officers are going to lie through their teeth and say that they observed things that there's no way that they could observe at a red light when I was turning left and they were turning right. They're actually the ones who unsafely crossed 2 lanes of traffic to get behind me, to bully and harass me and pull me over in front of the Kern County Superior Court on December 5th. I think it was just shy of noon. And, sir, it's a 2019 Grand Sport convertible. It's factory delivered, built in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And it's built to California standards, sir. So if they don't like how loud that car is, then I suggest they get a pair of earplugs. It's a manual muscle car, sir. It's going to be loud just like a Harley Davidson is loud. If they can't handle the heat, they should probably get out of the kitchen. This is retaliation. This is 3 years worth of retaliation, sir. I have a lawsuit against the county of Kern. Pretty soon, I'm probably going to have a lawsuit against the Bakersfield Police Department in the city of Bakersfield. Now, I'm sure you're going to scream qualified immunity. You were just doing your job. But please tell me you're in possession of the 2 letters that I know that I sent, and I went live when I mailed them. Because this is what you have to do, sir. Because everybody screams qualified immunity and says, hands up, don't shoot. I'm just doing my job. I didn't know that they were doing that. I didn't know that they weren't doing that. And you all scream plausible deniability. Sir, I have all the records. I have all the pictures. And I have all the video that these 2 officers and whoever that sergeant is that authorized that document to be sent to your office to waste your time today and my time today is lying through their teeth. So I want to know what the DMV is going to do about it.
Well, we're just here to conduct this re-examination, and like I said, we're in the middle of that process to see if an action is warranted or not.
But what do you do? What do you do when you realize that you've been duped and you've been used by a corrupt law enforcement agency aimed at silencing and retaliating against somebody for exercising their constitutional rights? I'm an in-home supportive services caretaker for a disabled adult who was triggered by the conduct of those two law enforcement officers on that day. So I hope that you don't intend to make any type of determination that's going to be adverse to my driving privileges today without at least doing your due diligence, looking at that video from December 5th, making sure that you have both of those letters that were sent to DMV and that you've examined all of the evidence carefully and without bias.
So of course, that's my main purpose here is to examine everything and to not be an advocate for the department or for law enforcement, but to just try my best to be a neutral fact finder. That's my goal here today. And with that being said, I want to introduce the second document, and then I want to go ahead and jump into the incident of December 5th of 2022. Okay, so with the second document that I have marked for identification purposes only as exhibit number 2, like I said, this is the request for the reexamination. And one of the, I know I already started introducing it, but one of the dates that I just wanted to put for the record was that this incident date was December 5th of 2022, and the Bakersfield Police Department submitted the request for the reexamination on November 21st of 2023. And so with that being said, that's just going to be marking that DS427 as exhibit number 2.
Wouldn't you argue, sir, that if somebody was so gravely concerned about my ability to operate a motor vehicle that they wouldn't have waited nearly a year to submit this to your department? I mean, what kind of liability does that scream, sir?
I think you bring up a fair point, Ms. Wiley. That is a big gap in time to submit the request for the reexamination. So one that I just do not have the answer for, but I just, will note that you bring up a good point.
I'd also like to bring up again, if I didn't already bring up, wouldn't you also be gravely concerned that an officer that takes the time to write a citation with 3 alleged violations, one of which I believe is a misdemeanor, wouldn't you think it would behoove the department to see that citation through? I mean, I went to the Kern County Superior Court Traffic Division in January of 23 to ascertain the status of the citation. There was no information. I went again in June of 23 to ascertain the status of the citation. There was nothing to report. I went again in December and was told for the 3rd time there was nothing submitted, and at that point it was past the statute of limitations for them to even submit anything. Don't you think that's a bit concerning too, sir?
Well, yeah, I guess you can say I'm not sure what those violations were about, but those violations you were saying are from the same date as December 5th, 2022. They issued you or they issued you one ticket with 3 different violations on there?
That's correct, sir.
All right.
See, I'm being more transparent. If you give me a minute, hell, I'll bring the citation up. I'll give you the codes. I mean, I have all day, sir. I'm retired. This is fun. I expose corruption every day, and you're helping me do it.
I wish I had that much time. Unfortunately, we only have an hour to conduct our reexamination. But I do want to just ask you about this date, December 5th of 2022, and if you want to tell me what those violations were, that's perfectly fine. You may, let me know what those violations were that were, at the end of the day, dismissed and not taking any action on.
Sir, they weren't dismissed. They were never even prosecuted. So we want to make sure that we use the correct legal terms. When something's dismissed, that's after it's already been tried before a court of law. So that is not accurate for you to say that they were dismissed. They were never even submitted for prosecution.
Okay, that's not correct. They were never submitted for prosecution. And like I said, those three violations, if you want to let the record know what they are, you're more than welcome to do that anytime. In the meantime, what I wanted to do is just go back to December 5th of 2022, and I want to just find out where were you going, where were you coming from, and what was it that occurred? Why did the officers pull you over?
Well, sir, if I had that answer, boy, that'd make finding a lawyer real easy. I have no idea why they pulled me over except for pure jealousy, envy, retaliation, because I'm driving that little red Corvette. And there's a lot of people, sir, that don't like that little red Corvette. I was pulled over for alleged no front license plate, even though I possessed the documentation in the trunk of the car to prove that I had already applied for a replacement plate. It was actually the officer, sir, who was not cooperative, refused to allow me to exit the vehicle and show him that documentation. And again, my live video taken December 5th, 2022, because a picture's worth 1,000 words, a video's worth 1,000 pictures, but a screenshot of corruption is forever and priceless. So that was one violation, and that was the main one. The second one, as you already indicated, was allegedly an unsafe lane change. Sir, I was sitting at a red light. They're the ones that made the unsafe lane change. And as far as revving to engage or say that I wanted to race somebody, sir, I can assure you, if I wanted to race the Bakersfield Police Department, they wouldn't win. Okay? People don't drive $110,000 cars to get them repossessed by a corrupt agency for trying to race the corrupt agency. I mean, is that asinine? I was sitting at a red light, sir. If it sounded like the engine was revving, I assume, sir, that that's probably when I was shifting from first to second gear. But why don't you ask them? See, that's where I would have had a field day with them in court, and they knew that, and that's why they never submitted that documentation to the Kern County Superior Court.
One moment, is that in my notes?
Why they did it? I don't know, sir. Why did Cynthia Zimmer call Donnie Youngblood at 11 o'clock at night on his personal cell phone to report that her nephew, the Kern County Board Supervisor, Zack Scrivner, was having a mental crisis? That's whose driver's license you should probably investigate to take. And if you're a mandated reporter, I'm going to ask right now that you submit documentation to have Supervisor Zack Scrivner's license up for a reevaluation. He caused a scene. He had a gun in his hand. He allegedly tried to molest his 11-year-old daughter, and his oldest son had to stab him, and now he's been MIA ever since. You might want to check out Zimmer's license while you're at it, too, because what district attorney calls Youngblood, the Kern County Sheriff, at 11 o'clock at night on his personal cell phone instead of calling 911 if she was so worried about his mental state? No. You want to know why they're doing this to me, sir? Because I'm exposing corruption in Kern County, and you've just become the latest victim in their game to use every agency in Kern County to retaliate against Officer Karen Lawdawg. Zack Scrivner, please report that to your supervisor. You're a mandated reporter. That's whose license needs to be reevaluated.
I did make a note of Mr. Scrivner. And Ms. Wiley, my question is, Do you have any medical conditions that affect safe driving?
Absolutely not, sir. I wear corrective lenses. If you want to consider that to be a medical condition, then by all means. And that's right. That's right. And did they?
Do you take any medications that affect safe driving?
Absolutely not, sir. I'm drug free. I have no prescription drugs. I take a vitamin C pill every day. I take a multivitamin at my age, and I take vitamin D for my bones. And I think I also take one of those biotin for my skin and my nails and my hair.
So you take health supplements?
That's right.
Well, now I just have some procedural questions that I give to all the drivers I interview. My very first one is, what is your occupation? But you already mentioned earlier that you're retired. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir. I'm a retired educator. However, my California teaching credential is still valid and active. Oh, and by the way, sir, I might point out, while the BPD thinks that I'm not qualified to be behind the wheel of a car, I've just passed my clearance for my CCW permit. So obviously the Department of Justice and the Kern County Sheriff's Department thinks that I'm capable to possess a gun.
Understood. And you mentioned your vehicle. I was going to ask, what vehicle do you drive and do you have insurance on it? You said your vehicle is a 2019, did you say a Chevy Corvette?
That's actually my disabled significant other's vehicle, sir. My vehicles that are registered to me are a 2002 Cadillac Escalade with, I think, about 240,000 some miles. And I have a horse trailer. And I have a 2016 Dodge Challenger Hemi.
Which is, out of the vehicles that you mentioned, which is the one that you primarily drive, that you drive the most?
Well, when I'm conducting essential business for Mr. Hansen, I'm driving the Corvette. Mr. Hansen is claustrophobic and enjoys having the top down low to the ground, so that's pretty much a daily car, as is that 2016 Dodge Challenger, except when pedophiles from Nevada that just got off parole after serving time for being registered sex offenders travel cross lines and come and destroy my two vehicles. And I provided the license plate number to the Kern County Sheriff's Department on that.
And the Corvette has insurance?
Absolutely, sir. All of our vehicles are insured. Do you ever see, your DMV, you have access to that. You can pull that up right now. But I know it's a what they call a trap door. Trying to see if I'm going to be honest.
Well, I don't really look at registration. Registration might have the notification if you have insurance or not. But I look at driver's licensing and driver's license issues.
Yes, I have insurance, sir. I probably have more than what I even need. I have uninsured. Why? Because there's so many people that don't follow the law. But yet here we are having this conversation. Hey, Letha. Hey, Jeannie.
Do you have any traffic violations or traffic collisions that are pending, that are not on the driving record?
No, sir, I do not.
And how many, let's say, how many miles do you travel in 1 week? Your average amount of miles that you travel 1 week? Because I understand 1 week might be higher, 1 week might be lower. What would you say would be the average amount of miles you travel 1 week?
I don't know, sir. Is that average miles I travel via horseback? Is that average miles I travel on foot, via motorcycle, via... I mean, your question's very open-ended.
I would include all of that.
I don't know. What's the average human travel that's retired in a week? I mean, how is this question relevant?
We take miles traveled in consideration.
Wow.
If you're not able to provide a numerical...
I mean, I don't know. I drive downtown for an appointment. That's 2 miles one way, 2 miles the other way. That's 4. If my kids have an appointment, I don't know. Just say 10 miles a day times 7 days a week. 10 times 7 is 70 miles a week, give or take. I mean, I don't know what you're asking for, sir.
That's perfectly fine. I just responded. And I'm thinking, I think that's all the questions that I have, Miss Wiley. You've already told me about what occurred on that day. Yeah, and you told me why they pulled you over, and that those tickets were never sent for prosecution. So, and I've got my questions out of the way that I give. So, just thinking, I believe that's all I have for you, Miss Wiley, unless there's anything else that you would like to include that maybe you feel I didn't give you the opportunity to speak about today, anything I might have missed.
I don't know. This is your rodeo. I just showed up.
I appreciate you showing up, Miss Wiley. All right, well then, what I'm going to do, Miss Wiley, is I'm going to take everything in consideration, your testimony here today, and the documents that I introduced, and I'll make a decision. Would you like to be notified of my decision by physical mail or by email?
Oh, email's faster. Nobody likes snail mail. You know what a good example of that is? And I'm glad. I want you to take this into consideration too, because this is pretty important. About 2 weeks ago, and it included this right here. This little appointment today. I sent this to the Department of Justice as well as the FBI and some other watchdog organizations because the BPD's using you in this manner. And the FBI's located here in Bakersfield at 4550 California Avenue, Suite 400 on the 4th floor. And the United States Postal Service returned that to me, alleging no such number. So yesterday I did a live video as I drove over to 4550, hustled my booty up to the 4th floor, and what do you think I discovered? That there is such number. The FBI is alive and well on the 4th floor, and we have a United States Postal Service sending mail back saying that addresses don't exist. That brings me to this notification that you sent to me in the mail, uncertified, assuming that I would get it. And C. Mosby on May 8th, 2024 did a certificate of service with his automated signature on the bottom of this page, basically proving, as far as you're concerned, that all the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed and I must have gotten this. Sir, don't ever make that assumption. And I feel sorry for the motorists whose licenses you suspend, assuming that they get this paperwork when you don't even take the time to send it certified return a receipt. And all you do is do a certificate of mailing, especially when I can prove that the United States Postal Service is not an infallible organization. As a matter of fact, They're probably corrupt too, because how did they say the FBI, no such number existed when it did? So either the United States Postal Service is in on the corruption, or the FBI ordered the post office to say they weren't there. So you might want to, again, if you're a mandated reporter, a document such as this that makes or breaks somebody's legal right to operate a vehicle, you should be sending that documentation certified return a receipt. Hello?
Yeah, I apologize. I was having some internet connectivity issues, but I hear you now.
Oh, so you didn't hear a word I just said?
I heard you up until you said that we shouldn't be assuming that people receive the mail, and then after that I lost you.
Yeah, you should not. Something as important as a reexamination appointment that's been scheduled, that if somebody doesn't show up, can make or break whether or not they are lawful to be behind the wheel of a car. You should be sending this documentation certified return a receipt. I have evidence that the United States Postal Service did not deliver a piece of mail to the Federal Bureau of Investigation here in Bakersfield, alleging that they didn't exist when they did. I took the document over yesterday, walked it up to the fourth floor like I worked for the Postal Service. All they needed to do was give me a car and a uniform.
Very well, Ms. Wiley. I believe I was going to get your email address so I can send you the notice of my decision.
Oh, you ready for this? You're going to love this. P like Paul, D like Delta, the number 2, A like Alpha, R like Romeo, G is in Gorilla, U is in Unicorn, at gmail.com. PD2ARGU at gmail.com. Yes, sir, that's paid to argue. I can't give legal advice and they'll never beat my price. You want to know how corrupt this county is? They even had the State Bar of California after me. So like I said, you're the only organization left, except for maybe the FTB and ABC, which I doubt they'll have any luck sending those agencies, since I don't own a business that serves alcohol.
Okay, Ms. Wiley, I just want to confirm that was P as in Paul, D as in David, the number 2, A as in Adam, R as in Robert, it's G as in, I'm trying to blank on a G.
God. There you go. That a boy.
U as in under, and at gmail.com.
That a boy. I'm proud of you not being afraid to say God. That's what's wrong with this nation right there. Taking God out of it. Thank God for Mr. Jimenez. Now, let's just hope let's hope you take all this into consideration, sir, and make the right decision. Because I can assure you, if you don't, and this is not meant to be taken as a threat, but I'm sure that there will be an appeal process, right?
Yes, there is.
Absolutely. Good. So there's hope. If you, for some reason, your hands are tied and you're going to rubber stamp this on through, well, then there's still hope.
Yes, there is, Ms. Wiley. Hope is the last thing to go.
Well, let's hope you don't take my hope, Mr. Jimenez, because I'm pretty sure beyond a reasonable doubt you're going to make the right decision. And I'm going to be having my driver's license, and I'm not going to have any more of my time unnecessarily consumed with nonsense.
Well, Ms. Wiley, like I said, I will take everything into consideration and make a decision. And, with that being said, unless you have any other questions or concerns, I'll go ahead and end our re-examination.
Hey, don't forget about Scrivner. He's going to need a re-examination, sir. And if you don't believe me, just Google his name, Zack Scrivner, and you'll see Sheriff Youngblood said that he suffered a mental crisis. So he's going to need his license reevaluated. And you'll probably win on that one.
Very well, Ms. Riley. Well, then if there's nothing else, then I'll go ahead and end our re-examination.
Thank you. Oh, my boys are back from baseball.
Okay. Thank you. You have a good day. Drive safe.
Thank you. I always do. Well, folks, you heard. Bye now. Bye, Mr. Jimenez. Folks, you heard it live. Officer Karen Lawdawg just conducted her re-examination appointment with the DMV, thanks to Heckle and Jekyll and their need to retaliate. Stay tuned. This is still a developing story. Mr. Jimenez wouldn't tell me the outcome, but we'll see. Bye, y'all, folks. Don't allow your rights to be trampled on. I'm telling you what, right now, I can't give legal advice. They'll never beat my price. But I'm telling you, shit's getting real. Because if they can do this to me, folks, people of the world, The Hague, crimes against humanity, if they can do this to their people, imagine what they will do to your people. Have a good day, Letha. Bye, Jeannie. Thanks for watching.